What is going on, Drive in Dollars peeps? Francis back. We got another stock, another juicy company that we're gonna look into here. It's a little bit speculative, a little bit exciting. Shout out to my best friend Zach, who actually texted me about this company this morning. It's been rallying really well over the last few weeks. It's going crazy. I think it's running on a little bit of hype, but let's take a little deep dive if there's anything worth it to, look into this company. I got my Mountain Dew. I did my research on this bad boy, and I'm already gonna give you a heads up. It's pretty freaking juicy. So make sure you stick around and let's go through this company together. Alright guys, you already know we got ChatGPT pulled up and we're about to go on a bit of a deep dive on ABAT, American Battery Technology Company. Ticker symbol ABAT. So today we are trading at $3.18. If you guys look at this chart, over the last month, up 154%. Last 5 trading days, 53.38%, man. And today, up about 10%. Now this has gone down a little bit because this screen is about 10 minutes old. So right now it's actually at $3.11 or 10 cents like that. So it's changed up a little bit, but we always start off, whenever I'm doing a new stock, I pull up ChatGPT. This is what I do. You guys saw this in the plug video that I just came out with. So tell me about ABAT company, the stock expectations over the next 12-18 months, and what growth opportunities and the barriers and hurdles that the company can go through. So ChatGPT pulls this together for us. So ABAT, it's a US-based battery materials company. So what they do is they do 2 things with lithium. They do recycling of old batteries to be sold for new and usable with lithium batteries for stuff like EVs and what other fuel cells that use lithium batteries. They are the bigger kind, not like for like phones or anything like that, I think. And then they also do lithium, nickel, cobalt, manganese extractions from the earth. It's drilling. Now they're still in the preliminary stage of this, and I'm gonna go into that as we go through this research. So growth opportunities. There's a bunch of stuff going on here, but really there's only one big one. And so this whole company is kind of riding on this one big project. You guys can read the screen, but I'm gonna scroll down to what that is. And that is this guy right here, the Tonopah Flats Lithium Project. So essentially they are lithium mining out in Nevada, Tonopah, Nevada. Now I'm from Nevada and there's crap tons of lithium, nickel, manganese, and all the precious metals that they need for manufacturing and lithium, or for manufacturing and like battery energy stuff out here in Nevada. They are my patients. They are in our community. They live among us. So we are really, really into this stuff in Nevada. They are all around us. And I've talked to a lot of people in the industry, worked with a lot of people in the industry. And actually, here in Nevada, a lot of people get geology degrees to get into the mining business because, dude, you can make like 6 figures with a bachelor's degree in geology. It's crazy. So needless to say, we got a bit of an advantage being Nevadans because we know all about the mining economy, mining industry. So with this, the Tonopah Flats Lithium Project, essentially ABAT, the American Battery Company, they are mining lithium out in Nevada. Now this is still in the preliminary stage. So they've gotten a bunch of funding, both privately from people who wanted to invest, as well as from the US government, particularly Department of Energy. So it's super awesome. Like, they're getting private and public funding for this project. And not only that, they've gotten support not just financially, but also kind of in operations wise, because the government granted them this. They're classified as a Fast 41 priority project by the federal government, meaning all of the permits that need to get done, all the paperwork, clearances, permits, I already said permits, it's all getting streamlined and prioritized. So essentially in Nevada or the federal government, if this company needs to get cleared for this plot of land to do this project, they are going to get priority to be looked at first and like signed and then cleared. So essentially this is a priority, like, for the government. Like, we need to get this through. And I was really wondering, like, why does the government giving this like relatively small company, all of this support, both financially with all the grants it's been given, and I'll go over the grants and how much they've gotten. Actually, it says it right here. I don't know why it's crossed out, but $57 to $58 million in grants from the Department of Energy. And then they have a letter of interest from Export-Import Bank for $900 million. Now, that's just kind of like a line of credit. They don't need to use all of that. And we'll go over how much they've already spent like doing this stuff later on as we go on through the research. But I did a bit of a look, because I'm not like super big into like national economy, domestic versus international stuff when it comes to lithium and all that. I do know that we have to get lithium from like Brazil and China and all that stuff. And so I asked ChatGPT, why does the US government want to support this project so bad, right? And essentially, it's exactly what I just said. It's national security and supply chain independence. Like the US, we're manufacturing EVs and all kinds of batteries for all kinds of different industries and products here in the US. And we have to depend on foreign countries, like in South America, Australia, China. And we just haven't made the infrastructure to be able to support all the manufacturing that needs lithium from the supply chain in the US itself. And so it's definitely been booming. I can tell you myself, like the mining industry in Nevada, I bet you we're the number one mining industry state-wise in all 50 states. Let me just look at that. What is the leading lithium mining states in the US? And let's see what ChatGPT has to say, because in Nevada, it's just been popping off. They're paying. So yeah, number one, Nevada. There you go, guys. And so we got lithium, we got all kinds of other stuff that can be mined out of our mountains. So yeah, Nevada has just been popping off because of one of the big reasons is because of lithium. Also, our tax breaks are really freaking good. Land is cheap here, so it definitely makes drilling better. But we also have like Tesla who came out here. We had Switch, the company Switch, not Nintendo Switch, like cloud storage, I believe Switch came out here. We have a bunch of Amazon, Walmart type of warehouses here, Amazon warehouses here. But anyway, I digress. It looks like from the energy transition goals too, because the US, if you guys heard me talk about plug, you know what I'm talking about. We're trying to like reduce the carbon footprint and all that stuff. And so to reduce the carbon production from our manufacturing and our industries here in the US, we're gonna have to switch from fossil fuels to electric energy. And if you want electric energy, you need batteries. And if you want batteries, you gotta have lithium. So for us to support that kind of movement and transition throughout an entire economy, the US government is going to have to step in and, be a big daddy and make sure that, hey, we got to support the things that will make the transition to something like electrical energy actually possible. And so they're going to have to give these grants and like this special treatment to this company through things like fast tracking their projects so that it's more streamlined, it's more smooth, and we can get this freaking done. Because if we don't get it done, we're going to be slow, which is longer, that we're going to be dependent on this international chains for lithium, and it's going to cost more because time is money. So if it's going to take longer, it's going to cost more. And so we got to give them money and special treatment. I love it, from a government standpoint. Innovation, next gen technology, low emissions, all that stuff. And really, like, we're talking about all that stuff. Oh, job creation, sure, but that's just any economy. But in terms of the more specific stuff about lithium project itself, we kind of went over that already. And so with this company, it is running on very much a high expense it's running with high expenses right now. You guys can see here, I have the financials over the last 8 quarters, the last 2 years, in terms of revenue, expenses, and net income. And you can see that expenses is this top line, right? You would think this is the revenue. Nope, that is the expenses. And it looks like this is a 10 million, this is 20 million right here. And so you can see right here, man, every quarter, we are just burning through tens and tens of millions of dollars. Revenue is essentially zero because they haven't sold any lithium yet. This is just brand new. This whole Tonopah drilling project is brand new. And so the net income essentially just reflects the expenses because zero revenue, right? So it's like literally an exact mirror. The revenue is an exact mirror of the net income. So for right now, the financials don't really matter when analyzing this company because it's still speculative, right? And so we can't go off of financials to see if this company is a good deal or not. We're just gonna have to go with what are they doing and what can we take from the qualitative data that's available to us right now on whether this company is essentially gonna pop off or not, right? And so let's go through that right now. Okay, guys, so we just talked about how the TFLP, the Tonopah drilling project, is essentially running at a massive loss right now, right? So I looked at how much this company has spent, and so far for the exploratory drilling, the planning of the production, getting the mining rights for the areas and the permits, etc., all the things that need to be done to establish starting a mining project here in Nevada, it's cost them about $114 million, which you guys can see right here. But thankfully, from the $57 million in the Department of Energy grants, it covers half of that. That's free. That's not a loan. It's just straight up, here's some money for your project. So essentially, just cut that in half. So that should be $57 million. So far, TFLP from a private outlook has spent $57 million to establish the project, right? And so I'm like, okay, they spent $57 million, 114 total if you don't count the grants. Like, how much are we looking to make from this project, right? If we're spending $100 million. So I asked ChatGPT, what kind of mining and drilling will this Tonopah project do? And then for something that's a similar size, with the same mining type, how much will TFLP, what do we expect it to make? Because there's tons of different mining for lithium types. There's open mining, there's brine mining, and so here it says that the TFLP will use open pit claystone mining because in Nevada our lithium deposits is stuck to claystone, so it has to be separated like that. And then hydrometallurgical processing. I'm not that good into this, guys. I'm learning as we go here, but I'm really using my resources here to get the fullest grasp on this lithium mining stuff. So yeah, so this is the type that we're doing. And so I asked, okay, we're doing the same type of mining with the same kind of size as the project of TFLP. How much are we looking to make? Well, here's the comparison. Here's the comp. It looks like we have Lithium Americas in Thacker Pass, also in Nevada, also claystone mining for lithium. So same place, same type, and supposedly similar sized, okay? And then they're producing 60,000 tons of lithium a year, and their capex is $1.2 billion. So their average annual revenue is at this. So expecting about $600 million a year of revenue. And then their capex is $1.2 billion. So now going back to TFLP, based on all the data collection and drilling that they've had, their planned production is 30,000 tons. So about half, right? About half of Lithium Americas here. So 30,000 tons versus 60,000 tons. This guy is making about $600 million. So every year with TFLP, once we get to capacity, we are doing $300 million. $300 million. And so far, we've spent $57 million of private money. So that's pretty freaking good. That's 57 to 600 to 300. That's 6x the current capital expenditure, the current investment in spending we've done. We're expecting to get 6x of that in the first year that we're in full production. So that is pretty good. And essentially, based on we already drilled and have confirmed there's lithium there and how much lithium. The only thing that's left now is they're doing mining that's exploratory. It's not exploring to see if there's lithium. It's exploring to see how are we gonna make the tunnels and how are we gonna securely make a mining operation that's to code and safe and essentially the logistics, right? How are we gonna drill this so it costs the least amount of money, blah 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 blah. So we're already at that part where we already know there's stuff to mine. We know where to mine. We just got to know how to mine it and about how much it's going to cost so we can kind of get our affairs in order and get the project approved, get it all the permits and all the clearances that we need from the government and have at it, right? And just start making the money. So essentially, I hate making these big bets on these companies that are, it's not proven yet, right? But in terms of is the lithium demand gonna be is it gonna get disrupted? No, because everything runs on lithium. Like, we're not gonna, like, it was the energy industry has already been disrupted by lithium, right? It was fossil fuels. Now it's lithium. Lithium is the thing. It's in our phones. It's in our cars now. It's in everything that runs on electricity, on fuel cells. So lithium is only going to get stronger and stronger. And heck, like the numbers that we projected with the $300 million for TFLP in the future, that's provided that the price for lithium is still going to be right here, $20,000 a ton. Like, that's probably going to go up as lithium, gets more scarce and more valuable. So over time, this is just going to get better and better. And on top of that, I looked up who are the competitors for ABAT as a company, and you have Li-Cycle, Ascend, all of these people. This is one of those things where competition in the market doesn't even matter, because we are in such a huge deficit on how much lithium we can produce and mine versus how much lithium we need, right? Because the government is going to keep backing and backing and backing all of these lithium mining companies until we can at least match our dependence to international sources of lithium. Because US, they don't want to have to beg to China, beg to Brazil, or beg to Australia saying like, please, can we have these good trading terms for your lithium, because we can't do it without you. Like, heck no. Like, I already know, like, especially with Donald Trump as a president, like, we are gonna go independent on this lithium mining projects throughout the US, because he is not gonna want to grovel to these companies, to these international companies and international sources. So all in all, so far with what we've seen and what we've talked about, what do I think? Well, with continued government backing, on top of that, the TFLP project for them to mine the lithium is like almost all the way a go, right? We already confirmed this lithium, how much lithium there is to mine and where it is. All we need to do is like kind of put the schematics of how we're going to make the mine to be able to start drilling. And we're expecting at least $300 million if we get to full capacity on drilling, which I don't see what could be stopping them. Especially in Nevada, we have all the governmental and the private support, both financially and from like a paperwork standpoint, a clearance standpoint. So we have all the help there. How about the lithium industry as a whole? There's competition doesn't really exist because supplies from domestic US mining is still at a huge deficit compared to what we are getting from international markets. So it's going to get continued support because of that. And competition doesn't matter because they will eat it up, right? Whatever lithium we can mine, it's going to get bought. It's going to get bought. So it's not like we're competing on whose is going to get bought, because once TFLP mines it, someone go and buy it. And with all of that being said, man, guys, 6x on that $57 million investment from the private equity to make $300 million in a year, like, damn, that is really, really good in terms of a risk-reward standpoint from all the sources of that $57 million. So all in all, what do I think? Guys, I think this is a buy. Man, this is a buy. Like, of course, it's still a penny stock and we haven't made $1. So please take that thought with a grain of salt. But for my risk tolerance and what I know about the lithium industry, lithium mining, and the support, especially that Nevada puts, on top of all the research we just did together right here on this video, I feel confident in putting my money in this company. And today is July 23. It's 1:09 p.m. Market just closed. Here's what I think about this company. I bought 500 shares at $3 and almost 11 cents. And that's not a huge investment. That comes out to about $1,500 plus dollars, $1,550. And like I said, I think it's a buy, hence why I bought it, but it is still speculative, right? If we hit some kind of like, we hit a bedrock that we can't drill through and now the project is going to get delayed another year, that's a possibility. If we run out of funding from the US government and from private sources, if they say like, hey, we hit this snag, we're going to have to spend another $50 million to be able to go around this thing, to be able to make a stable and secure mine that will pass laws and clearance. Like, what if nobody what if nobody puts up the money for that? Then it's gonna be, we're screwed, because like now the project's gonna be at a pause and all the money we've spent is still gonna produce $0 if we can't get the mine going. And do I think that's feasible? No, because the US government is really, really backing lithium mining right now. Do I think it's possible? Yes, it's possible. Hence, I'm not putting $5,000 in this company just yet with what we see. We are just gonna put about $1,500 into it. So that's what I think about American battery technology. Again, thank you to my best friend Zach up in Seattle, who brought this company to my attention, because I don't know about these little companies much, and I don't know how he heard it. I'm gonna have to text him and find out how he heard about this company. But thank you again, Zach. You put another great stock into our field of vision, and hopefully I have extended that field of vision to you guys so you can see what you want to do with the possible opportunities here. Because guys, with 6x on the $57 million that's been spent, like once this turns profitability, I didn't even mention this stock got added to the Russell 2000 and Russell 3000 industrials. So it's already on the radar of a lot. And I didn't look at this, but Zach said that it got included into BlackRock. Let's see, BlackRock purchase of, what is this? ABAT shares. Let's take a look if BlackRock really did buy some shares of this. Oh yeah, look at this. As of July 17, BlackRock increased stake from 791,000 shares to 4.7 million shares. What is the percent increase in that? They just bought a crap load of shares. And so we all know that whenever BlackRock puts money into something, like that thing is probably going to go good, because BlackRock knows how to invest their money. So guys, it's just more and more reasons that I think this company is a go. Like I said, I am not one of these super uber bullish, willing to bet my money like it's the freaking casino type of investors. Like, please take warning. This is not financial advice. I think this is a buy, but I don't think it's a buy. Like, there's definitely still those possibilities that we hit snags on this project and it continues to make negative revenue because we just keep spending and spending. The more time this goes on, the more spending it's gonna be. And so we really need to make that dollar now. But once it does, we see the possible opportunities on revenue, and it's gonna absolutely destroy the $57 million that we've already spent. That shit's gonna get paid in like the first month or two in terms of sales of the lithium. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned a little bit something on how I research stuff. If you want a bit better step-by-step where I literally go over like how do I use ChatGPT to like go from this question to this question to this question, watch the plug video that I made. It says how do I use ChatGPT or AI to invest, and I'll put that in one of the links in the description below. For the last time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna keep sipping my Mountain Dew. I got work this afternoon. Remember, here on Driving Dollars, we work 7 days a week, no days off, because we're chasing that financial freedom. We're chasing that money. As always, do your due diligence. Empower yourself to make more. Educate yourself to make the right financial decisions. And you already know what's coming. Let's make this money.